Is Sudan becoming the long-term displacement hotspot? We've had literally a quarter of the population of Sudan displaced, 14 million people displaced since the start of the crisis. I think what we can say is that right now the fighting, the conflict is very much intensifying, particularly in the Kordofans, in the three Kordofan states. I think the real question is Sudan becoming the long-term displacement hotspot? You've had literally a quarter of the population of Sudan displaced. So right now, yes, it is fair to say that Kordofan is the hotspot for displacement. Whether that will be long-term or not long-term is a more difficult question. I think what we do know, again, a quarter of the population displaced, 14 million people displaced since the start of the crisis. Some of them are trying to return to their areas of origin. Others are still displaced. Others are displaced several times. And right now the fighting is really focused on North and South Kordofan. The situation has been difficult for quite a while. So for more than a year, you had two cities, Dilling and Kadugli, that were not under complete siege, but pretty much under siege. So in any case, for more than a year, although the fighting was not as intense as it has been for the past months, you had people who were basically unable to move, with a lot of difficulties, therefore, as time went by, accessing food, basic services, etc. Now you have active fighting. It's obviously becoming even more difficult. However, in most cases, people are still able to displace, which obviously is not good, but it means that they can, in most cases, escape the fighting. There have been a number of developments in the past few days, including the National Army, the SAF, for now regaining control of the city of Dilling, which has meant also that the siege in that city is for now. But there's no doubt that there has been for more than a year now a very difficult situation for most people in the Kordofans. From our point of view, UNHCR and other humanitarian partners, of course, the challenge right now is how to access people who need assistance in locations where you have active fighting. Ever say displacement is the only valid option? Obviously, people have coping mechanisms that are very different. The situation in Dilling is still very fluid. Whether people will choose to return or not, for the time being, we do not know. At this moment in time, I think both UNHCR and actually the rest of the humanitarian partners, again, our main priority remains to access locations where we have displaced people. It is challenging. It is challenging both in terms of security. Again, active fighting makes it very difficult. There have been a number of distributions. UNHCR distributed recently in some areas with displaced people, but it's limited, only 500 families. As a whole, we are looking at the same number of families getting emergency shelters. Altogether, we basically have a reach right now of 1,300 families getting assistance because of a combination of security problems, actually active fighting, not even security problems, that make access difficult, but also funding. It's no secret that funding for humanitarian crisis as a whole, and Sudan in particular, has been very limited.